We live in a world where truth shifts like the wind, where what we see depends on where we stand. Kurosawa knew this. He taught us that life is no more than shadows on the wall of a fragile theater. But shadows are alive. They tell stories. They reveal the unspoken truths of humanity, of suffering, of redemption, of nature's eternal gaze. Kurosawa painted in light and shadow, in rain, in flame. He showed us that humanity's essence is not in its answers, but in its contradictions. To Kurosawa, nature was not a backdrop. It was an actor, with its own voice, its own movements. It spoke of life's beauty, its cruelty, its fleetingness, and its permanence. To see the world through Kurosawa's eyes is to see it as it truly is. Broken and whole, fleeting, but yet eternal. To see nature as a mirror of our souls. We're all wandering artists in Kurosawa's world, painting our lives one imperfect stroke at a time. We're all searching for meaning in the spaces between light and shadow. Akira Kurosawa was born in 1910 in Tokyo, Japan. A child of the Taisho era, he grew up in a world teetering between tradition and modernity, a duality that would shape his art forever. Before he ever became a filmmaker, Kurosawa dreamed of becoming a painter. He once said that he would have been happy painting for the rest of his life. But the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923 changed him. Witnessing devastation so young, Kurosawa learned that life's beauty lies in its impermanence. He carried this same understanding into his films, where loss and renewal weave together like light and shadow. Kurosawa's career began in the 1930s, during Japan's rise to militarism. His early films, like Sanshiro Sugata from 1943, wrestled with themes of identity and discipline, mirroring his country's own struggles. But even then, his vision was clear, a belief that truth is found in conflict, in struggle, and in perseverance. In 1950, Kurosawa made history with Rashomon, a film that asked, "What is truth?" It showed a crime through 4 conflicting perspectives, challenging audiences to question the reliability of their own eyes. It was a revelation, a Japanese film winning acclaim on the world stage for the first time. Kurosawa's masterpiece, Seven Samurai, from 1954, redefined the action genre. Yet, it wasn't just a story of warriors. It was a meditation on sacrifice, on community, where the victors were left with nothing but the scars of their struggle. Rain fell in Kurosawa's worlds as both a cleanser and a curse. It fell on the samurai, on the liar, on the dreamer. It fell on us all, washing away pretense, leaving only what was real. Kurosawa was more than a filmmaker. He was a guide, leading us through the storm of life with a lantern made of light and shadow. His films are not answers, but questions, reflections of the world as it was and as it could be. Akira Kurosawa spoke 2 languages. One, rooted in the poetry of his homeland. The other, in the universal truths of the human soul. In Shakespeare, he found a voice as restless and timeless as his own. Throne of Blood from 1957 is not just an adaptation of Macbeth. It is a storm. Kurosawa strips the story of its European castles and crowns, placing it in feudal Japan, where ambition and fate collide in a world shaped by fog, blood, and betrayal. Shakespeare gave Kurosawa a canvas of human frailty, of kings brought low by their own desires, of chaos breaking apart the illusion of order. In these stories, Kurosawa found himself and the eternal questions of humanity. But Kurosawa was not just a borrower of Western ideas. He was a mirror. His masterpiece, Seven Samurai, crossed oceans, inspiring The Magnificent Seven, a film that reshaped the American Western in his image. The echoes of his storytelling ripple through time. To Hollywood, Kurosawa was a bridge, a way of seeing the East not as distant and unfamiliar, but as universal. His influence can be felt in George Lucas's Star Wars, where the lone heroes of the hidden fortress become the basis for a galaxy far, far away. Yet Kurosawa's dialogue with the West was never one-sided. He took from Hollywood its scale, its dynamism, its movement. He gave back its soul, a reminder that even the greatest spectacle is nothing without humanity at its heart. Kurosawa didn't belong to the West or to the East. He was the storyteller who painted with the truths of both, because the questions he asked, the worlds he created, belong to us all. Kurosawa taught us that no one culture holds the truth. We're all reflections of each other, shadowed, distorted, but undeniably connected. This was his legacy. We are always searching. Kurosawa's films were not answers. They were a mirror held up to our wandering hearts, reflecting the questions we are too afraid to ask. He taught us that the truth is not one thing. It's layered, fragile, incomplete, like a shadow cast by firelight, always shifting, always elusive. He asked us, what will you create from the chaos? When all is stripped away, when there's nothing left but shadow and light, what remains of you? Kurosawa's genius was his humanity. He gave us fragments of a broken world and asked us to see the beauty in its jagged pieces. Perhaps the greatest question is not what Kurosawa left us, but what we leave behind for others. What shadows will we cast? What light will we carry? This is your story now. Paint it boldly. Let the shadows speak.